Welcome GCK Division. This is Randy Excellent here, Southwest Houston District Manager. I'm super excited to share with you today the most important system in your business to master, and that is the recommendations. Important aspect of your Cutco business. And today, my job is to share with you the keys to having a recommendation system that's going to allow you to have a sustainable business throughout the summer and beyond. So guys, for those that implement the system and the things, those that take notes on the things I'm going to teach you today are going to be able to, number one, hit their appointment goals on a weekly basis. Number two, work smarter and not harder. And third, and most importantly, learn the intangible skills of networking and learning how to be a connector. For those who truly implement the system, you'll see your recommendation average go from 10 to 15 to 20 recommendations per appointment. And I just want to put things in perspective for you. Think about this. If you did 10 appointments, I want you guys to write down 10 appointments. You got no paper in front of you, do this for me. Write down 10 appointments times 10 recs equals 100 recs. So if you have 100 recs on 10 appointments, it's pretty good. You know what I mean? That's pretty solid. You know, personally for me, I think that, you know, averaging 20 recs per appointment, having 200 recs is the goal, but 10 is pretty solid. So the goal is to get at least 10 recs on each appointment. That way you have at least 100 recs if you completed 10 appointments. All right, under that, I want you to write down 100% are texted. So I don't know how many of your recs currently are texted, but the goal is to get 100% of your recs texted. If you get 100% of your recs texted, you know, number one, the names and numbers that you're calling, they know a little bit about you and they're expecting your call. All right. Secondly, it gives your customers the opportunity to get responses back from their customers and feedback. Number three, obviously, all your customers want to make sure it's okay with them first. So obviously, you want to get them texted. But the key and what I'm going to teach you today is strategically when we're going to send the text message. So that's key. But the goal is to have 100% texted. What I'm going to teach you today and the things that you're going to learn today is going to teach you, it's going to give you the opportunity to get 20% of your recs to respond while you're with the customer on an appointment. So let's think about that. If you got 10 recs on an appointment and 20% responded, 2 out of 10 responded while you're on the phone with the customer. If 2 out of those 10 respond and then you do end up doing 10 appointments in a week, that's 20 recommendations that already said, yes, he can give me a call to set up an appointment, or yes, she can give me a call to set up an appointment. You only want to do 10 in a week. So that's enough recommendations and people that already want to see you that you can book up 2 weeks worth of work. And all you have to do then is just, you know, complete your appointments, and, you know, then you have your time freed up to not make phone calls if you don't need to. That's the key of working smarter and not harder. You know, it could be one phone time on Sunday and calling all your yeses and booking up your whole week, or, you know, making your phone calls on Thursday and booking up your whole weekend. So that's the key. So guys, are you ready to have a big summer? Because think about that, you know, having 2 weeks of work, or hey, maybe you only did 10 appointments in a week because you only had a little bit about a rec. But what if you got 20 recs that were ready to see you immediately? Would you not see those people as soon as possible? I'm sure you would. So that's going to help you do that. So I'm going to dive in here. I'm going to show you guys a couple keys to help you guys get this done. So guys, a couple things that I talked with managers with, and I talked to some representatives in the last about a week or so. And a couple things that they mentioned was a couple issues that they noticed that the representatives were struggling, and what you guys noticed that you were struggling on. And if you haven't experienced these yet, you're going to experience them eventually. So knowing how to handle those before they come up, or knowing why those things happen, will enable you to do the things necessary in order for those to, you know, happen less frequently than frequently. So the couple issues that I heard were, number one, people need to contact their friends first. So customers feel that they need to contact their friends first before they give the numbers, and why representatives weren't getting recommendations. Another issue that representatives ran into was, I'll do it later. You know, the customers wants to do it later. They don't see the importance of doing it now. So they feel that they can do it later and get it back to the representative whenever they can. Another issue that representatives ran into was how to handle getting recommendations if there was a no sale. How do you handle that? You know what I mean? That's important. And then last but not least, the amount of recommendations they're getting. Customers are only giving like one or two, two or three, and then, promising that they're going to give more later, but they don't actually, or may not potentially, or forget to give it to a representative later. So I'm going to dive into the solutions right now. Number one, you got to ask yourself, I want you to write down why you're here. And I'm sure your managers have asked you that. But if you haven't had the opportunity to share that with your manager, I think it's important to help your managers and, your team leaders and whoever's going to be supporting you to know why you're here. What skill sets do you want to improve on by working with Cutco? Is it your communication skills, your time management skills, your abilities in certain areas, right? What qualities do you want to develop in yourself through this opportunity that you've seen in other people, whether it's your manager, whether it's reps in your office, and so on and so forth? What qualities do you want to develop, right? What could you do if you had an extra $10, $15, $20,000 in the bank, right? What could you save up for? What would you save up for? Who could you be a blessing to, right? Money isn't everything, but money does provide options, and money provides you the option to not only bless yourself, but also bless others and the people that are around you and the people that you care about most. And also, guys, what type of person do you want to become? What type of person do you want to become in this process? And knowing that and taking the time to reflect and sit down and think about that is going to be key, because as you're working hard and as you're moving towards a goal, the ups and downs will be, trials and tribulations. And if your why isn't strong enough, the how is never going to reveal itself. But if your why is strong enough, you're always going to figure out a way how to make it happen. And you got a great support system to make it happen. But knowing your why and sharing that with your manager so they know, but also learning how to share that with customers is even more key. So we want to know why we're doing this, what things we want to accomplish, type of person we want to become. That way your customers understand that. And that way when you ask for recommendations, they understand that recommendations is going to enable you to continue to work on the things that you say you want to work on to become the person you say you want to become. Guys, once you understand your why, you have your goals. And once you share your goals, you'll be able to get more recs. And when you advance, you can continue to develop more skill sets. When you develop more skill sets, you're going to have more confidence. And when you have more confidence, you're going to advance even more. So it's a positive cycle just by knowing your why and knowing your goal and what you want to accomplish, and then doing the necessary steps. You have a great vehicle and a great opportunity here to help you accomplish those goals, which is pretty exciting. So here are the outcomes we want to create, okay? The outcome number one we want to create is we want the customers to understand why and what we're working towards. So you guys want to jot this down. The outcomes we want to create, we want the customers to understand why and what we're working towards. Number two, we want to help your customers. The outcome we want to create is we want to help your customers jot down 10 to 30 qualified recs for us on every appointment, okay? That's another outcome we want to create. Another outcome we want to create, we want to make sure they're all texted, okay? Just to recap real quick, outcome number one, customers understand why we're working and what we're working towards. Second outcome we want to create is we want to make sure we get 10 to 30 recommendations on every appointment, qualified recommendations. We want to make sure those qualified recs are texted, and we want to make sure we're getting yeses on the spot. And the way we do that is making sure the recommendations are all texted, when you're getting the names and numbers, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So that's where I'm going to dive in and teach you the keys. So a couple things I'm going to review today is your email confirmation, what it says, what we wanted to, what's the outcome we want to create with the email confirmation. All right, then we're going to talk about how to connect with customers. And then after that, I'm going to show you guys, a process for goal sharing and how you want to, do that to help your customers understand what you're truly working towards and why you're working towards that, and, what you're willing to do to make that happen. And then we want to share the excitement for Cutco, and that's just you doing your virtual demo and getting them fired up about Cutco. And then I'm going to show you guys the rec approach, when we text them, and how we're going to thought jog, and then we're going to qualify them up, and then I'm going to show you guys how to follow up. Super easy. So let's dive in. First things first, we're going to dive into the virtual demo email confirmation. So we want to send this the night before the appointment, or honestly, you can send it right after you get off the phone with the customer. It's up to you. But subject reads, Cutco Scholarship Appointment with Miss Smith and Randy, right? So the description says, Mrs. Smith, it was a pleasure speaking with you the other day, or it was a pleasure speaking with you today. Thank you so much again for taking time to see my presentation on Tuesday at 6. We're going to have fun. I look forward to being the highlight of your day. Just so you know, every appointment really helps me out. Just by seeing me, it makes a tremendous difference for me working towards accomplishing my goals. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to continue working towards my goal, and I couldn't do it without you. I took the time to make a get to know you slide. It'll share a little bit about my why before we chat on Tuesday at 6. One last thing, please shoot a text back to confirm you got this message. I really appreciate everything. Please be home by your computer at 6 o'clock. This means the world to me, thanks, right? So that's what the email confirmation will say. And then you will attach a document, which will be your Google PowerPoint with your goals. And this is an example of that. And I'm sure your managers will be able to get this out to you. But this is a Google PowerPoint that Christina made in the district manager, Christina made, and check it out. So she put a little bit about me. She put her school, her class, her major, her minor. She put pictures of her school. So this is a little idea that you can do. Experiences with Cutco so far, or you can put, pictures with your family, your friends, sports, things that you've done in the past to let your customers know a little bit about you and what you're up to and your hobbies and interests and things like that. Things basically you're going to mention on the phone when you talk to them about your goals. And obviously, that's her major and what she's working towards. And also she includes the sponsorship. So she lets her customers know about the recommendation before the appointment. So you can book on when you ask for recommendations later, you can bring that up. And they already know about recommendations before you do the appointment. Okay, so as it says here, become a sponsor. Become a sponsor is 10 recommendations sponsor, 20 recommendations, 20 sponsor. So let them know about the sponsorship. And then you can also put in which customers were sponsors already, and you can add them in there so they know. And then as you can see, I put in a different color, your name here 4 times to set the expectations of how many times the sponsorship I expect them to be. And it says, thank you for helping me achieve my dreams. So that's something that they're going to get before the appointment, and they're going to be able to see that. That way you can reference it when you're sharing your goals on your appointment. Cool. Real quick and briefly touch up on this because this is super, super key. You want to get to know your customers and ask a lot of questions before getting started. And I do want to say that that's one of the things that's very, very important that you do. And the reason why I say that is because when you are very intentional about learning about your customers. So the concept is this, and if you want to jot this down, this is a concept I like to say. I rather be interested in people versus being interesting to people. So you want to seek to understand people versus seeking the need to be understood. And I was reading a book the other day called Everybody Communicates, Few Connect. And our goal in our appointment is to connect with our customers. And John Maxwell made a tremendous point in this book, and I wanted to have the opportunity to share it with you guys. But he talks about connecting one-on-one. And he says there's 4 things you need to do to be able to connect one-on-one. Number 1 thing you got to be able to do to connect one-on-one is you got to have interest in the other person. So getting to know each person that you meet, getting to know their story, how they grew up, the things that's happening in their lives, why they, the things that, hobbies and interests, their kids, work, what's going on in this time, how they're adjusting to it, so on and so forth, how their family's doing, things like that. So taking a genuine interest in the person. Second key to connecting with people is you have to place value in the other person. All right, so taking the time and understanding that each person that you meet is doing a tremendous thing for you, and that's an opportunity for you to make a friend. And friendships are very, very valuable. You have the opportunity to to create a new friendship, and that's something valuable that you can have, which is huge, right? So you think about every person could be a future friend of yours, okay, no matter how old they are. All right. Number 3 thing you want to make sure you do to connect well with one-on-one with people, you need to put their interests ahead of your own, right? So your goals are important to you, what you're working towards, but get to know a little bit about them and what they're working towards and seeing how you can, provide some value to them, right? And, put their interests before, your own, all right? And then last but not least, guys, to connect with people, you got to express gratitude to and for that person. Express gratitude to that person for helping you with the appointment, and express gratitude for that person to being the type of person that's being willing to help out, right? You can express gratitude in that sense, and also you can express gratitude in all the things that you learn from them while you're on the appointment, the things that they share with you, the wisdom that they share with you, insights they share with you, so on and so forth, because you took the time to get to know them, allow them to talk, and share with you their interests. So that's key. All right. So making sure you guys are connecting with people is very, very important. Okay. Now back to sharing your goals. So we took the time to put our goals on paper. We know our why. We know what we're working towards, and now it allows us to be very passionate and confident and convicted when we're speaking about our goals to our customers. Just want to give you a kind of a snippet of that and what that would look like. Hey, Mrs. Jones, I'm sure you had a chance to take a look at my goals PowerPoint that I sent to you the other day. Awesome. So I just wanted to review that with you and kind of help you understand what the pictures mean and everything like that. So, as you see, there's pictures of my family there. They're important to me. That's my brother, that's my sister, it's my mom and dad. My dad and my mom are really big impact on, how I was raised, and, a couple lessons that they taught me were this, whatever the case may be, right? So you want to share about your family, things that are important, the things that you have on your pictures, and why that, what that means to you. And then you're going to share with them why you're working with Cutco, whether it's a skill you want to develop, Mrs. Jones. I really want to develop my communication skills, really want to develop my ability to, communicate with people at all different ages. And this is giving me a great opportunity to do that. I want to gain some valuable experience because I'm going to school for this. And I think that this experience is going to enable me to really stand out against my peers. And through the company, I have the opportunity to gain some tremendous resume experience. And my goal, Mrs. Jones, is to be able to put on my resume that I ran my own business with a company, $250 million company, and have that on my resume. That way, that I can stand out against my peers. Just so you know, I just started my fast start. If you're in your fast start, I have 10 days to, sell $10,000. And really my goal is to complete 60 appointments. And if I complete 60 appointments, it's going to give me a chance to hit that goal. By doing that, I'll hit 4 promotions. I'll be able to earn a President's Club letter that, being able to say that I was a President's Club recipient in my first 10 days will definitely stand out and show that I'm an overachiever. So I'm working really, really hard, Mr. Jones, and I really appreciate you taking time to see me. All right. And that's very, very key. So that's a little example of how you want to share your goals and tie them in and help them understand what you're working towards. Hey, Mrs. Jones, my main goal, honestly, is, it might sound kind of funny, is really for you to like me. And as weird as that sound, my goal is for you to like me and enjoy our time together that we're going to spend. Because honestly, every appointment I do is one step closer to hitting my goal. And if you enjoy me and you enjoy our time together, I'm simply going to ask that you introduce me to every single person that you know. And, because honestly, my favorite part of the job is being able to interact with people and communicate with all types of people and learn about people and develop my skill sets, like I mentioned before. And the only way I'm going to do that is to do as many appointments as possible. And the only way I can do as many appointments as possible is being introduced to as many people as possible. And so far, everyone's been super nice introducing me to as many people as possible and doing their best. That way I can continue to have a full schedule on a daily and weekly basis. That way I can continue to accomplish what I'm looking to accomplish. And everyone's been super nice, been having a lot of fun, and been meeting a lot of great, amazing people. And I'm looking forward to continue to do that. So, but don't worry about that now. You gotta make sure you like me first. You gotta get a chance to check out how awesome Cutco is. But just so you know, we'll do that at the end. Cool. All right. Awesome. Right. And then you set the expectation for referrals. So that's a key thing that you want to do. That way they know why you're working towards and ultimately what your main goal is. That way it's not a surprise at the end, and they understand that, hey, by introducing them to more people, this is what's going to help them really move forward. So that's very, very important. All right. Now the next key is the recommendation approach. All right. My philosophy is this, if you're figuring out what they like, you're figuring out an option that they like, you drop down from the homemaker, or you drop down from the galley, we're figuring out which starter set they like, or we're customizing an option. I'm assuming that we're writing down some numbers and we're figuring out some options for them. And when we get to that point, I think it's important that we start asking for recommendations at that point. All right. So the recommendation approach is super key. And the key to that is having confidence, expectation, and belief. All right. So here's how it goes. So, hey, Mrs. Jones, just out of curiosity, you enjoyed my presentation so far, right? You had fun today? I wasn't rude or pushy, was I? Great. Well, I just sent you an email just now. It should share a Google document sheet with you. Once you're in your icon, once you're in there, your icon will pop up. Once you're in there, your icon will pop up. Let me know once you're done, once it's done loading. All right. So basically, here's what's going to happen. All right, you're going to have a Google Drive folder, which is going to have all your customer names. So every time you do an appointment, you'll make a folder for the customer so you can put their customer rec sheet in there. Okay. And what we're going to do, around that time is we're going to click share. We should have this queued up on another tab ready to go. We'll type in their email address. Okay. And as you can see here, we'll type in their email address, right? We'll put that there. And then it's very key that we click advance, okay? We wanna make sure we notify people, okay? All right, and you also want to, here we wanna make sure we click edit, all right? So they can see what you're doing. If you click view, they're just gonna see the recommendation document, but not see what you're inputting into it, cool? All right, so that's the goal. So we wanna put that there. We wanna notify person, and then we're gonna add a message and say, check out how to win free Cutco. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Cool. Boom. And then we'll click send. Bada bing, bada boom. This here. Boom. That's what it'll look like. And it'll say Mary Smith's recommendation sheet. She will click it. And it'll say, here's your chance to win free Cutco. And then she can click open in docs. It has the recommendation form. It shows her what it is. Or she can click it down here. Okay. So boom, click open in docs, and then she'll be able to see what you see, okay? And what that looks like here is this, all right? So when she gets on the form, you'll see a little circle here at the top. You'll see a circle here at the top that coordinates with your circle once she's in there, all right? So once she's in there and she says, boom, it's loaded up, you're gonna say, perfect, awesome, Mrs. Jones. Well, there's one more very important part. Here's where you can really help me out. I get paid every time I show Cutco, and I can only call people who I've been personally recommended to. So what I need for you to do is to jot down like 200 to 300 people who might be nice enough to help me out. Just kidding. 20 to 40 is perfect. Now, just so you know, I'm not necessarily looking for people who would buy, just people nice like you who might take a look. Now, I have a customer rewards program. I'm sure you saw that on my goal slide, right? Where when I get 50 sponsors, I do a drawing for all the customers who were a sponsor to win $150 in free Cutco. Now, I'm sure there are some things that you like that you saw today that you probably not you may not have ended up getting, but I'm assuming there's some things that you like that you saw today that didn't make your top 5 or top 7 or didn't make it in the set. Great. Well, just so you know, all you have to do to become a sponsor is just get to that first level of 10. Now, when you get to 20, you're a double sponsor. When you get to 30, you're a triple sponsor. You get 3 entries into the drawing. By the way, I just sent you a text message so you can give your friends a heads up and let them know about who I am and if it's okay if I give them a call. That way you keep your friends and I only see nice people that want to help me towards my goal. You can actually put me on speakerphone right now. I'll type the numbers into the Google Doc and you can actually shoot the text as we go. Make sure when you click on the name to give me the number, you just hit that message button, paste and send. And then on the top left, it'll give you the icon to go back to your contacts. It's super easy. Cool? Awesome. So a couple key things are really quick. I just want to emphasize real quick on the rec approach that I want to make sure you guys understand is when you are going through your rec approach, all right, I get paid every time I show Cutco, and I can only call people I've been personally recommended to. So what I need for you to do, right? Keyword is what I need for you to do, not could you, possibly, would you, maybe, jot down a few people for me. No, what I need for you to do is jot down 200 to 300 people who might be nice enough to help me out, okay? So don't wimp out, 200 to 300 people who might be nice enough to help me out. Okay, who might be nice enough to help me out. Keyword is might, all right? We don't want to say interested. We don't want to jot down 200 to 300 people who would be interested, all right? We don't want interested, okay? Interested is they're definitely buying. They don't know who would definitely buy, right? But they know who might see you for a quick appointment, okay? Who might be willing to do an appointment with you. Is everyone with me there on that? Don't use interested, okay? Just kidding, 20 to 40 is perfect. I'm not necessarily looking for people who will buy, just people nice like you who might take a look. Cool? All right, so nail the sponsorship. All you have to do to be a sponsor is just get to the first level of 10. When you get to 20, you're a double sponsor. When you get to 30, you're a triple account 3 times. When you get 3, you get 3 entries into the draft. Right? We want to emphasize those words, right? We want to create ownership, all right? And then again, we send the text message immediately. That way, they get the text message, they can copy and paste as they give you the names and numbers. Cool. So real quick, who did you want to jot down first? Did you want to jot down your mom, your sister, your mom? Okay, cool. What's her name? Okay, Susie. All right. Her last name. Perfect. And her phone number. Okay. And yeah, go ahead and click the, did you copy the message? All right, cool. Copy the message. All right, perfect. So go ahead and hit that message button. You see that message button there? Yeah, go ahead and hit that message button, paste, send. All right, perfect. Awesome. I'll click the X to let, that I know, so I know it's texted. Awesome, because I don't want to call anyone that isn't texted. Perfect. All right, cool. And who's next? All right, Mary Joseph. All right, cool. Mary's phone number is, all right. Perfect. Awesome. And who's next? All right, cool. So that's how you want to ask for Rex, and that's the process, and that's what it looks like, right? You know, you're going to be working on the options or whatever the case may be, but you want to throw out thought joggers to your customers as you are going. Okay, so so you want to throw out some thought joggers to them. So an example of that is you want to use one of these 2 phrases when you do so. So one of the 2 phrases is this: who do you know that's really nice and, or who do you know that wouldn't get anything but? Okay, so example of that would look like this: who do you know that's really nice and lives in the same neighborhood as you? Okay, do you have any neighbors that are really nice like you? All right, cool, awesome. Anyone else that lives in your neighborhood that's really nice? All right, perfect. All right, cool. Hey, Mr. Jones, who do you know that probably wouldn't get anything at all, but probably knows a lot of people? Because ultimately, Mr. Jones, whether someone gets anything or not doesn't really matter to me. But what does matter to me is being introduced to a lot of people. So even if you have friends that might not get anything, that's cool. But if they can introduce me to a ton of people, I'd love to meet them. Do you have any friends like that? Oh, you do? Do you mind? What's her name? Okay, cool. I'll type her in real quick. Hey, Mr. Jones, who do you know that probably wouldn't get anything, but like likes to cook? Because like people that like to cook actually enjoy taking a look at this stuff because, you know, they could, you know, obviously see the benefit of it. So who do you know that wouldn't get anything but likes to cook? Those are some ways that you could ask to thought jog to get more recommendations. And then once you thought jog to get more recommendations, you want to qualify your leads, okay? And why you want to qualify your leads, you to make sure you see who you want to see first, right? You want to increase your reach percentage on the phone. So knowing when the best time to give them a call would benefit you by, you know, qualifying your rec, so you know when the best time to give them a call is. And then last but not least, you want to know about the people you're going to see to build a connection with them when you give them a call, right? So guys, the key to qualifying is to be assumptive, not interrogative. On the bottom here, hey, Mr. Jones, do they all live in the same time zone if you're doing virtuals in all different areas? All right, cool, who doesn't? All right, is everyone a family member, coworker, neighbor? Cool, who's who, right? If you were me, who would you see first? Get their top 10. Best time to get a hold of their friends, morning, afternoon, or evening. And then you also want to know, hey, by the way, that way I can connect with your friends over the phone. What's one cool thing about your top 5, top 10, or top 15? That way you can have some fun facts, connect with them on the phone. They're probably going to be the people that respond yes sooner than later. So the better that you know information about them sooner than later, the better, right? And then last couple things you can jot down. Hey, Mr. Jones, is everyone here really nice? All right, perfect. Everyone here has kids. Awesome. Obviously, who here knows a lot of people? Was everyone here knows a lot of people, right? Or is there specific people that you want to make sure when I see that I ask them because they know a lot of people? All right, cool. All right, find that out. Everyone here cooks, obviously. Everyone here appreciates quality. All right, perfect. So if they saw Cut Go, you know, they would understand the quality of it. All right, perfect. Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you, Mrs. Jones. I really appreciate your help. All right. And so that's how that process works. So depending on how many recommendations they give you, They give you 10, they're a one-time sponsor, 20, two-time sponsor, you'd write their name in that sponsorship book. Cool. So just to recap a couple keys for you. Number one, let's make sure we're sending our virtual email confirmations with our PowerPoint slide. Make sure you get with your managers. They'll have an example copy that you can, basically make your own through that. All right, so make sure we get our email confirmation on point and our Google PowerPoint on point, okay? Make sure we know our whys and why we're working so we can communicate that with our customers and our managers properly, right? We wanna make sure that we got our rec approach on point, meaning we got a recommendation sheets ready to go for our customers. We have their Google folder ready to go. That way you can organize it easily. And we want to make sure we qualify our leads, know when's the best time to see them. And then with the text message, guys, we want to send that text message immediately, okay? So those are the keys. Hopefully you guys took a ton of notes, and I'm excited to see what comes out of this. Who's going to be the first person to get 20, 30, 40 texted recs on an appointment. And I'm excited to see what cool gold PowerPoints you guys make. And I'm fired up to see the sales report in these upcoming weeks and who hits the dirty 30 and all the promotions that's going to happen. So hopefully this helps. I'm super excited for you guys, and let's be the boat.